partner, because you guys can stop the ring through thick and thin, dudes.
Do you see this man?
And the reaction from the crowd was ferocious, as much as it was warranted. Hulk Hogan keeps getting booed, and it's so embarrassing. Yet one former wrestler had really important insights to deliver. But right now, you know, with the social climate and the things that he said and done, and his lack of effort to try to fix it, people are going to come down on him. I never had an issue with him before. I heard all of the stuff. And even then, I believe in giving second chances. Anybody that knows me knows that I'm a fix-it person. I'm not going to dwell on the negative. I'm not going to talk about the past. We're going forward. And he never wanted to go forward and fix it. So, you know. That's what happens when you think that everything is going to go away. It's not going to go away. That being Mark Henry. And when asked if the two ever had a conversation about Hulk's troubled past, no, he thinks it's going to go away, that it's not going to be that dark cloud over his career. I have not said, I offered to say, hey, let's do a tour of the black colleges, law schools, and explain what happened. He didn't want to do that. It's revealing, and if unaware, as we have covered previously, Hogan is heard on the tape, which was recorded in 2006, talking about his daughter Brooke, who he accused of sleeping with an African American. I mean, I am a racist to a point, but then when it comes to nice people and whatever, then says, I'd rather if she was going to some, I'd rather have her marry an 8-foot worth $100 million like a basketball player. Guess we're all a little racist. What we saw in that tape is exactly what 21st century racism looks like. You may like black people and be friendly to black children, but you don't want your child to marry a black person. And clearly, he has continued falling short in a story that we brought to you yesterday. There were some sources from one site that said, essentially, Hulk thought it was a political hit job, which it was not. Hulk Hogan walking out, trying to show that beer and getting booed out of the Intuit Dome to the high heavens. I'm like, you know what? Pencil could wait. Away. Pence took it away, because there wasn't much more of an appropriate moment of professional wrestling as a fan, that I was more proud to be a fan than that moment. This was the WWE and pro wrestling jumping into the future with Netflix, with technology, and this was the WWE Universe loudly saying, we are not trying to bring this guy with us to the future. Kaz, a man who I truly admire and respect, gave his 2 cents on the subject. And hey, just a quick break in the action. You should go subscribe to my new show, The Rick Strom Show. I'm going to be interviewing people from sports, music journalists, authors, sports doctors. It's going to be fantastic. Please go subscribe. Thank you. I just think the wrestling fan over the past 15 or 20 years have gotten to know who Terry Bollea is for the past several years, and they let him know exactly what they think about him. And when it comes to that sort of stage, it was a chef's kiss. It was like, thank you, WWE Universe. Thank you, fans, for not disappointing me. Just a few moments earlier, The Undertaker pulls, comes out on his motorcycle, and nobody seemed to boo him. He came to rub the motorcycle. Rhea Ripley did the fist up, and we all know where The Undertaker leans. He had Donald Trump on his podcast. Nobody booed him, you know. I think it was a combination of a lot of things. I think most WWE fans have gotten to know the real Terry Bollea for the past several years. Whether it's, messing up the union that was probably trying to be put together for WWE that he openly snitched on, and the Vince McMahon documentary. And if one does not remember the union-busting effort, he went on, you and Hulk were once good friends. Yeah. What's the likelihood of that ever being repaired? Never. And he's the one that ratted me to Vince when I tried to unionize. I found that out under federal deposition when Vince was put under sworn, and he didn't hesitate at all. I told my lawyer the story, and in deposition, you can ask about anything. And so I wanted to know who ratted me in the locker room because there were no agents. No one from the office was in there when I did it, so it had to be one of the boys. And when my attorney said, "Is there, Mr. McMahon? Has there ever been a union in wrestling?" And Vince said, "No." He said, "Has anyone ever tried to?" And Vince said, "Well, I think Jesse Ventura spouted his mouth off about it once before." And my attorney said, "Did you hear Mr. Ventura? Number, well, then how do you know he did?" With no hesitation, Vince went. Hulk Hogan told me, and I didn't show any emotion, but I almost tipped over in the chair because he was my friend. So let me say this. I think it is wise that the WWE essentially did a test run. I think there's a cause and effect here. The cause